This is the new 2025 tab 400 Boondock by nuCamp. They've made a few changes, and I'm going to point these things out to you. I'm liking what they're doing here. If you're new to my channel, please do subscribe, like, comment, and everybody please do share this video out. Doesn't cost you a dime, and it helps out my channel. I do appreciate everybody on this. So I like what they've done on the front here, the way that they've done this. They've actually made your front here lockable, whereas you didn't have that in the past. And then of course it has the struts that hold it up. Now I know there's gonna be people out there saying, well, Paul, but in the event of emergency, how do you shut off the LP? And that's a great question. Well, what they've done is they've put this door on the side. Just got to figure out how to open it, that's all. And then you're able to reach your hand up in here, as you can see, and you can get to it. So that's one of the other changes. So you can lock it here, okay? They actually give you the keys. They hide them in here for us. But you're able to lock that there. But then the other thing which I love that they've done is they've added this other little door here. Look at that. So you know how you used to put your sewer hose in a bumper? Look at how much larger this hole is. So it's actually going to fit your sewer hose, but then it locks it. And it's going to go, that goes all the way across there. So that should hold at least a 10 foot. I'm not sure if it's going to hold a 20 foot yet. Time will tell. But I like how they have done that. Nice little feature there. I know this has the manual tongue jack, folks. That's not a big deal. That is something very easy to swap out and put a power tongue jack on there. They still have the manual stabilizers. Trust me, you will love the fact that they have manual stabilizers. In my opinion, they are much more conducive to stabilizing a trailer than the electric ones. You can get yourself a screw gun with a 3/4 inch socket and then put those bad boys down with that, making them electric. But that does make it a heck of a lot better. Now on the door side, just like they've always had, you get the door here that's magnetically held in place. Notice that it has a light. You can have that. I have that on sensor light, so when it senses motion, it'll turn on. This is where your battery disconnect is. Because right now we just have the cord end for your stabilizers. Nice long handle there, but notice it's held up by a magnet. Benefit there, you're not having to use your head. It still has the Ketter rails on them, so that way there you can put those adder rooms or you can put those awnings. Now I know I saw some chatter about whether or not these things have the combination lock on the door. At this time, it does not look like they have them on there. Give it time. I'm sure that something that will happen. Notice how the windows now are darkly tinted. No longer do you have the clear see-through ones. You still have the same air conditioner, as you can see here. Now that'll have a cover that goes over that as well. Antenna for the stereo. Your 110 plug. That's where you plug in. And then of course, this is where you're going to go ahead and hook up your water. Let me turn on the light there. So one would be, it's on all the time, and if you have it on 2, then it's essential light. But to hook up your city water. Now with that being said, you can hook up your city water here, but you can also, as you can see, fill your freshwater tank. Or you could do dry camping using this system here. All you got to do is follow the diagram. It makes it real easy. One important thing I want to remind you, never turn these dials when the water hose is hooked up here and there's water pressure on them. It does mess up the back of this. So make sure you let the pressure off. Luckily you have outside shower here. You're able to do it there to get that pressure off and then change it. So if you're going to go to city water to fill, get the pressure off it. If you're going to go from dry camping to city water, make sure the pressure's off it. This also has your water pump switch, and then this was a light switch, which I'll show you when we get on the Black Canyon what that actually does. And then this is for your black tank rinse. So this will rinse out the black tank. Keep in mind that you're bringing up hoses and stuff through here. Protect yourself. Get yourself a some brass wool. I like brass wool versus having steel wool because it doesn't rust as bad. And then lastly, this is for your portable solar if you wanted to. See how it says solar port there? And the benefit there is you can park under a tree, but then still be able to put the solar out in the sun. Now I know, folks, it does come with solar, as you can see here up on the roof. Okay, but that allows you to put solar panels, the suitcase style, away from you. Last thing on this side, this is where the 𝚘𝚬𝚎 system exhausts. Of course, I missed this as well. There's your dumps for your black and gray tank, nice and low, making it easy for you to dump. But let's get inside, show you what we've got inside on here. By the way, people ask, well, Paul, what are these handles for? Those handles are for you to go ahead and pull this thing around. Now, in order to do that, you're going to have the wheel on the front. If you don't have that wheel on there, and if it's not on a paved surface, it's going to be pretty hard to move that thing. Matter of fact, without a wheel, I don't think you're going to move it at all. But the doors are the same. You know, you're going to have your fire extinguisher. This could be a trash can or whatever. You do have the, for the blocking the window there, two more little cubbies, if you will. And lastly, of course, everybody remembers this, right? Your screen door. So this is 18 foot 4 inches. I like how they put that there. And of course, this is showing your cargo carrying capacity, which is 804 pounds. By the way, I'll have all my contact information and the specs and so forth down below the video. Now, you'll see that you have a little light here. This is a blue light, but see, when you put the step away, notice how it's off, because it doesn't need to be on. It's only when it's out. That way there, you're not going to miss the step when you go to try to step in this thing. So let's get inside. Enough of the boring stuff, right? St. Paul, come on, get to the good stuff. Well, here we go. As you come inside, right here on the panel, this is where you're going to turn on your AC. So that takes care of that part. Now, because the AC is down here, you also are going to have, there's an electric heat pump in that. But then, of course, you have your 𝚘𝚬𝚎 system, which will be heat and hot water. Remember that. So let me shut that off. So anyway, so then you have your lights. So this is where you're going to turn on some lights here. Porch light, sink light, accent light for that. By the way, your 𝚘𝚬𝚎 system is both electric as well as propane. Keep that in mind. So looking at your kitchen area here, that's what we'll start with here, is I like how these doors are rounded, and then look at how wide they open up, and look at how they've gotten everything out of the way. I love these new P-traps. First time I saw one of those, I was like, man, what'd that person do? They need a P-trap, and apparently that's what they call the waterless trap. So there, it makes it a lot easier for you, which I thought was pretty cool. Anyway, on to the next things. So this is where your sink is going to be. One thing I want to remind you is that when you're putting this thing down, make sure that this thing's not left up like that. Make sure you push this down as well, because there is a chance that as you bring this down, this thing, because the way this thing's curved, this thing would go ahead and pull it over here like this, and then what you're going to do, you're going to have a heck of a mess coming out of there. Just trust me on that, if you would. 2-burner cooktop here. You see they're giving you all the specs on that. By the way, you'll have all that on the website that I'm going to link down below. But very easy to go ahead and light these burners. I don't have two hands to show you. Be sure that you lift up on this when you're pulling it forward. Don't just pull it forward, because otherwise you will bend the different brackets. Now with the 𝚘𝚬𝚎 system, it's the quietest heating system on the market. Okay, what's happening is you're going to have heat coming up through there. You're going to have heat coming up from underneath your cabinets. As you can see, heat coming up through there. They've got heat coming up all the places, all along the back wall there. Heat will be coming up through that back wall for you. Love how they do that. So now let's talk about this bed. Roughly a queen size bed. They do have the Froley system down below. They do not have it where you can lift this up anymore. Well, you can, but it's not freestanding. They already have screws in them, so you're going to need to go ahead and do that. Same thing on this side. This is not a storage compartment on this side. But what they did do was they've added a drawer that pulls out to give you a little bit of storage. And notice that's a nice soft close drawer. So if we were to go ahead and look on this side over here, and we pick this stuff up, you're gonna see some of that outside storage. Then on this one, in this area, this is where the batteries are for you. By the way, I'm gonna be going to the factory, so stay tuned. I'll have some factory tours. You're actually gonna be able to see where everything is, because I'll be at the factory as they're being built, being able to show you that. Here's your refrigerator, freezer. Love how this door opens up. Notice it's magnetically held in place. Folks, who likes ice makers? Well, they give you one. Love the fact that they do that. Do not close the door if you don't put this back down. You won't be happy. Stereo, which is Bluetooth. Of course, you have your nice big drawers, as you can see. Nice soft close. Of course, you're going to have cabinet space storage down below. Here, you've got the drawers. I like how they've done this drawer. Here comes the fire extinguisher. That's not going to stay there. Don't get worried about that. That's going to go on the door. Little silverware drawer, which you can pull out, and you can bring that in the house if you want to. Makes it easy for you to clean up. Take it out to the picnic table. But notice it's a soft closed drawer glides. Love how they do that. Breakers and fuses. Nice thing with this is the fact that, see, it has the auto detect for your converter. No more having to worry about taking your converter out and switching the buttons on the back of it, or getting a new converter. But this is where all your breakers and fuses are. Makes it very easy for you to access, right? Then let's take a look at the bathroom. And we'll talk about a couple other things. So we see we don't have a light on in here yet, but it does have the light switch, you can see there. But good size bathroom the way that they do it. You do have the curtain which goes on there, but the way they have this thing set up, so it's supposed to protect the door, and that is when you have it on there, you can hook it right back there so it's out of your way. Privacy window, or if you want to be able to see who's behind you while you're sitting there or taking a shower, you're able to do that. Your sink with the high-rise faucet. Notice how nice this thing is, and you can adjust it for different angles and so forth, different heights, but plenty of floor space. Your toilet paper is going to stay dry, as you can see in there. You have a couple hooks. Now, the nice thing with that's hanging behind the shower curtain, and then you have this little fan. Now, speaking of fans, and I'm not talking about the ones that are in the stands. I'm talking about like this fan, and you have that fan. Do not have that fan on right here, pulling air out when you go to flush that toilet. You'll thank me later. Just try it one time if you need to see what I'm talking about. But with this fan, the cool thing about this, of course, it's 12 volt. It is manual, so you can open this thing up. Now, I can feel a little bit of air coming in, but now it's off. But I'm turning it on here. Notice that it did not come on yet because this thing's in the middle. So now it's a matter of, okay, is it going out or coming in? This one will be bringing it in, so you don't have to have a window open. Okay, so it'll be blowing the air in here. So if you're worried about people, you have your window open, you're worried about that, just have the air being pulled in and you'll be good to go. Now, if you want to go ahead and open windows to draw air out, draw air through the window, all you need to do is unlock each of the locks here, okay? And then this thing will go out, and let me get this thing set up and I'm going to show you. Give me a second. Okay, so there you go. So all you did was you had to push out. You need two hands basically, and then just tighten it down right here on both sides, and it'll stay out there. You can adjust it wherever you want at that point. Now, let's say that you still want to have air being pulled through the windows because you have one back there, you've got one here, and of course you have the one in the front. However, you don't want to have to worry about people or critters. When I say critters, like raccoons or whatever coming in. You have this little thing here, and it latches right in the middle there, and this thing is open so air will come through there. Let me show you from the outside so you can see. So you can see how much it's open right there. If you can see that. So now you'll be able to get some airflow. Just remember, before you start heading down the road, to go ahead and unlock it there, bring it all the way in and latch it. The last thing you want to do is have the wind catching that and taking that down the road. So you have your blackout shades from the bottom, your screens from the top. Nice little glass here to protect you for this. TV does pull out. So you can swivel it so that if you're going to be sitting up here in the dinette booth, you're going to be able to see that. Now that dinette booth does break down to a bed as well. It's, you know, not too bad. I mean, more for a child, although adult can probably curl up like a little baby. Be sure that for the air conditioner, let me show you something on the air conditioner here. Give me a sec. Now, be sure that when you are doing this, or using the air conditioner and so forth, that you actually do clean the filter. I like how they've done this though. It makes it very easy for you to go ahead and clean this filter, because all we're going to do, let me see if I can turn this thing around here so you can see it. All you're doing is lifting this thing up. You just got to make sure that you get it through the door. Give me a second, I need 2 hands on that. Okay, so what happens if you start pulling it up crooked, you're not going to be able to do it. So you just got to get it coming out straight, otherwise it's going to hit on this end. So as you can see, they have this little mesh netting in here, and you can go ahead and pull this out. You see how they have the little thing? You can pull this thing out of here, wash it, dry it off, and slide it right back in there. Let me see if I can give you a look as far as what is behind it. It'll be a lot easier when I get to the factory. But as you can see right here, it's sliding behind the slat on that side and over on this side. So this just slides right on down. Anybody can do this. There we go. Look at that. So that is for your air conditioner. Make sure you're cleaning that filter. On the other side, by the way, this is what it looks like. Oh, let me pull that out. So that's another little cushion. What's happening is when you make that the bed, you get a few extra inches. But on this side, this gives you a little bit of storage right there. So nice little cubbies. Little cubby in here. As you can see, there's your ALTA system. So that's where you're going to be checking it. Make sure you're maintaining that. Now on this side, you just have the pull up for the screen. You know, it's a little bit tough to get your fingers in there, but if I was doing two-handed, it'd be a lot easier for me. So, and cubbies up top. You see nice little lights. Stereo speakers, like I say, you have one here, right? You got that one there. You've got another one back here. You also have back here another speaker, air conditioning duct. Up here, this is a little hanger for you. If you want to hang something, you're able to hang something there. Your cubby back here, this is for your heat for the batteries, your inverter, and then your light for up here. 110 USB ports. You see I took all the dinette parts and put it right there. So microwave, I didn't point that out earlier. You don't have to get a microwave. You can delete that if you want just to have storage, more storage there. So there you have it, folks. This is the 2025 Tab 400 Boondock Edition. Now with the Boondock, I think they do a pretty good explanation of it down on their website, but basically what you're doing is getting higher ground clearance. The tires are a little more aggressive, so the box on the front, different, you know, just different things. So all comes down to what works for you. For any more information on this camper or any others, reach out to me. Like I said before, please do like, comment, share this video out. I do appreciate everybody that helps me out with this, and I'll be back at you again soon. Take care.